Hey, my name is Erica Perret. I am taking the stance on the Roman Empire was somewhere in between a democracy and being not a democracy. In document A, Polybius, the councils, which are also known as magistrates, led the military, and they were the supreme masters of the government that brought matters that are up for debate to the Senate, and they called together the assemblies, which are the people, which is why some people considered it despotism. The Senate proposes law and has the control of the Treasury and handles all crimes that required an investigation. They handled whether to make peace or war, and they dealt with many foreign kings when business needed to be handled, which is why it was considered aristocracy. The people, which are the assemblies, choose the person in office through an election, and they had the final say in passing or appealing laws, which is why they are partly considered democratic. I do think he is a credible source because he was a Greek historian who admired the Romans. He may have been a little bit more biased about it, but I do think that he had the knowledge to make choices like that. In document B, Professor Fergus Millar, uh, the Roman Republic had a mixed constitution that had combined elements from other forms of government. The people voted in assemblies, which is like subgroups and stuff like that. So like the elites and the poorer people. They elected the magistrates. They had legislative power. They participated in jury duty, and they helped influence the public opinion. It made it more democratic because they had a checks and balance system. In document C, Professor Alan Ward noted that location kept the Romans from voting because the citizens often lived far from where the voting took place in Rome. Women, slaves, and non-citizens were excluded from voting as well. Proposals and candidates weren't in their control, so the people, which is the assemblies, didn't have the opportunity to choose who the candidates were or what the proposals were, which is similar with how the Polybius explained it. So as I said on my first slide, I am taking the stance of they are somewhere in between being democratic and not democratic. Um, I think the Roman Republic was in between because, like, in a democracy, they, just like our citizens, were able to vote on uh, laws and elect magistrates. They held elections, which included the consuls, and they were elected by the citizens. They did have a checks and balance system to help prevent a power imbalance, although they weren't a democratic system because they had a weighted voting system that favored the elites, which limited the lower classes' influence in the majority when they were voting. And the voting wasn't easily accessible, requiring the people to travel great distances to vote, which prevented some lower class citizens from voting. They also excluded women, slaves, and non-citizens from voting, which meant a large portion of the public had no power or vote at all.